What is up, guys? James here from the Light of Riga YouTube channel. And happy Halloween! Happy Samhain! Happy Dia de los Muertos! Happy All Saints Day! I don't know what you celebrate, and you don't have to celebrate any of those things to feel the magic in the air. And the magic is in the air right now, and we're having a full moon today on Halloween night. It's crazy. On the eve before one of the biggest elections of our country, for the world. We're going through the ascension process. It's all crazy right now. So what I wanted to do is do a reading that kind of takes a look at what humanity's dealing with, what you might be dealing with at this time, and hopefully work our way through it. And what I see happening right now is people working through their shadows. Perhaps not so much you and me, but those in 3D are really are having to be forced to look at their shadows at this time. And I wanted to do a reading that kind of takes a look at the shadow as a collective, because we're all working through the similar type things. But this reading will also apply to you on a personal level, I think. Right? I don't know. And so that's what we're going to be doing here today. We're going to be looking at the shadow, what's blocking us from seeing or healing the shadow, and how we can move towards healing the shadow. Right? That's what we really need to be doing right now. We can't take our shadows with us into 5D. Okay? We just can't. We got to work them out. So that's what we're going to be doing here today. I've got 3 of my more Halloween-y type decks, my spooky, darker decks, because I love to work with these decks to observe the shadow. So we're going to be looking at the Mortem Oraculum. This deck is fantastic. It's an oracle deck made with human blood. Don't get creeped out. It's a copy, okay? But originally they were made in human blood. Amazing. It's an amazing deck. Then we've got the... Oh no, I'm blanking. It's the one with... Hold on. It's the Dark Grimoire Tarot. And then we've got the Tarot Z. Beautiful tarot decks, you'll see. I know it's kind of dark, but that's kind of the mood I'm going for. So let's take a look at these cards, see what they have to say. I haven't looked at them yet. I don't know what's in store for us here this full moon Halloween, but we'll see. So the first card we're going to look at is this one from the Mortem Oraculum, and it represents our shadow. This is our shadow in our face right now. And we've got Journey. Journey. Give me a moment with this card. Oh, wow. Wow, how pertinent. Oh, my goodness. Okay. The shadow. The message here is that the shadow that many of us are working with now is that humanity is moving forward, right? We're on a journey towards ascension, towards 5D, a lot of us. Some of us are on a journey towards more 3D. But the fact remains that we're all on a journey of some kind, the human race is. But I think the shadow is that not all of us are ready to make this journey. Some people are wanting to stay behind. Some people are wanting to be lazy, right? Some people are stuck in their positions. They've been stuck in their position for so long that they can't even imagine moving out of it. That is the shadow that's coming up for humanity right now. Of course, there's many different aspects of the shadow, but this seems to be the biggest one at this time. That's kind of the question I asked. And so humanity doesn't seem to be ready to fully engage in this journey. Of course, you are ready. You've been making the preparations for some time, most likely, if you're listening to this. But how is this manifesting in your life? How are you holding yourself back from forward progress? Right? If we're moving towards 5D, then we're going to have to give up a lot of 3D things, right? We have to move away from 3D. So maybe there's some 3D things that you're just not ready to move away from. So I think this card is asking us to look at ourselves and say, how are we holding ourselves back from forward progress? What's stopping us from changing for the better? And I think that's what this card represents, is our unwillingness to go with the flow, right? The flow seems to be, we're headed to ascension, but we have our fingers and toes still in 3D. We don't want to give it up. That's all we've known. So it's not going to be an easy transition for most of us, for almost all of us. It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy. I mean, we're talking about raising our vibrational frequency to another dimension here. That's never been done, as far as I know, in our modern civilizations. So this is all new for everyone, and I don't think too many people have experience with this. So it's something that we're really going to have to work through at this time. And I think it's really showing up in the 3D population. They're not ready. They're not ready to move forward. They want more of the same. I don't want to get too political here, but in my views is Trump represents change. Biden represents more of the same. And those who are really gung-ho on Biden, I think, are resistant to change. They're resistant to forward movement forward. And that's the shadow. That's what I'm seeing here as the shadow. Is people wanting to stay asleep for a little bit longer. They're not ready to go on this journey just yet. Interesting card. Let's go on over to this one, the Mortimer Column. And this card represents what blockages we have to healing this shadow. And again, this is going to play out in humanity. It's also going to play out in your life potentially. So let's see what we got here. We got the stars. Oh, it's actually kind of dark in here. So give me a moment to squint. Just a second. Oh, geez. All right. Simple message here. The blockages that people are experiencing, again, not everyone, this is a general reading, but maybe as a humanity, as a collective, our blockage to healing our shadow is that we're too afraid to step into who we truly are. Right? The star represents being open, being honest with who you are, being knowledgeable in who you are, and confident in who you are, and being exposed and vulnerable. But we don't have that. I think a lot of us are so stuck in our old ways that we're just our own worst enemy, if that makes sense. I think the blockage here is that we're not ready or willing or able, whatever it is, to step into our true sovereignty just yet. We need to heal this aspect. I think too many of us are clinging to our old ways. Just like I said earlier here, too many of us are clinging to our old ways. We some people are just learning about the fourth dimension, right? They don't know what's going on. And so I think this is manifesting in a lot of people, is that we're not ready to truly understand that we're conscious manifestors as a whole, society or humanities. We're not ready to admit that to ourselves. We're not ready to admit that we've created our own reality. We're not ready to admit that we've essentially created slavery for ourselves. We're not ready to admit that because we're just not there yet. We're getting there. We're getting closer every day. But I think this blockage is one of the things that's really stopping us, is that we're not ready to step into our true power, our true potential. And, it's something that we can work through. People have done it, right? There are blueprints. People have done this before. They have worked through their shadow. They realize that they are God, essentially. That all is one. That there is no separation. And that we have all the power to create our own realities. Some people have done it. And so that leads me to believe that we will eventually, as a collective, all get through this. It's just right now, this is kind of what's stopping a lot of us. Right? I mean, go up to your favorite 3D friend and tell them that they are God and they can control their reality with their thoughts, emotions, words, and actions. Okay? They're going to look at you like you're a crazy person. They're going to laugh at you. It's going to be ugly because they're not ready to see that just yet. So that's a kind of a blockage to our shadow here. Did I say hi to Landon? Hello, Landon. I showed him last week, I think. Yeah, he's a new mate. Anyway. Last card we're going to look at here from the Tarot Z is how we can move towards healing, what steps we can take, what we can focus on. That's going to help humanity and yourself move towards healing. And we got the Six of Swords. There's not a zombie to be found in this zombie deck card. All right, give me a moment with this one. Look at this closer. Yeah, that's just a ship. I don't think I've ever pulled this card. I've never seen that card before. All right, give me a moment here. Simple message. We need to be ready to move, right? Look at there's a theme here a little bit. The Six of Swords is about movement. It's about going to a new place, right? And, well, our shadow is that we're not ready to go to a new place. And so this card is telling me that it's that mentality, almost, or that perception of forward progress. humanity has been stuck in place for so long. Right, 2,000 years ago, Jesus was like, okay, humanity, we're ready. And what did they do? They gave him the message loud and clear that we're not ready. And not much has changed in those 2,000 years, right? If Jesus walked the earth today, he'd probably be put in prison in Guantanamo and waterboarded, okay? So not much has changed in a long time. It's because our mentality has stayed kind of fixed. And that was the idea from the beginning, to fix humanity into a low vibrational consciousness. What this card is saying is that if we want to get out of this low vibrational consciousness, we have to change our mentality to one of growth, to one of expansion. We have to stop thinking, oh, we know everything, right? Everything we know right now is all there is to know, right? Oh, everything we know is right. I'm looking at you, science, right? Everything we know is right. So that's the kind of mentality we have to move away from. And we need to move towards a growth mentality. We need to be able to say, okay, I don't know everything. Let me go look at this information objectively, right? Let me take my predisposed conditioning and cast it aside. And I think that's something that is easy, right? It's like a snap of a finger to make the decision. You know what? I want to grow. You know what? I want to see if I can raise my vibration to the 5th dimension, right? And it's just a decision you make in a split second, okay? So if one can do this, all can do this. So this is a very hopeful message for me personally, because I think this is really easy. Like, we can do this easily, guys. All we have to do is adopt a growth mentality. All we have to do is acknowledge that there's more to life than we accept at this moment. And just like that, we'll be shown that there's more to life, right? So I think this is an uplifting reading, if you ask me. Like, I was expecting something like dark and sinister, but this is doable, guys. We can do this. And it starts with you, right? You can't control all these other people, but you can give them the blueprints by example. You can show them how to do this, how to have that growth mentality. You can show them your power, right? Show them how powerful you are when you step into your sovereignty, when you allow your higher self to take command. And once they see that from you, oh man, they're going to realize that they can do it too, right? We don't need one Jesus. We need 100,000 Jesuses. Jesus? Jesuses, we'll go with that. We need 100,000 of them to show everyone. Right? If it's just one guy, he can be silenced, he can be killed, he can be put up on a cross. But if 1,000 people are spreading that message, 100,000 people are spreading that message, there's no chance of us staying stagnant. We're going forward at that point. So I'm not saying you're Jesus, but you are Jesus, right? So show them the way, right? If this resonates with you, if you don't know what I'm saying, then you're still needing to work this part out. So, it's a general reading. Take what works for you, leave the rest, and I think that's gonna do it. Maybe I'll leave you with some Tibetan singing bowls before we go, just because they're so beautiful. And let's just get into that space where we can show gratitude for where we are at and see everything in a positive light. I think the bowls are gonna help us do that. So I'm gonna play the bowls, and after that we're gonna sign off. So thank you for watching. I want to wish you a happy Halloween, Samhain, Dia de los Muertos, All Saints Day. What else is there? There's all sorts. Every culture knows that this is magic time. It's magic time, guys. So let's work some magic. All right. So leave a like if you enjoyed this. Happy taroting. Happy Halloween. Peace.